Combustion.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Been running the game with my team making plays. Talking 80, my G's, wanting jewels in this place. Surrounded by dogs, keep the quarterback safe. I'm the one with the plans, they gon' do what I say. The game is not over, we don't celebrate. In the end zone, we don't got no time in the wait. Ain't trying run down, we don't premeditate. We just go and get to it, we got them on skates. If the game go into overtime, kicking the overdrive, we gon' be first at the finish line. Play looking full, but I finish mine. Can I get second? We gon' line up like it's dinner time. We put in work till we get us a ring. Super Bowl season, we running the scene. Ain't trying to home of the realest that breathe. Keep your face down when you talk to the king.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AB, and I got my co-hosts in the building. We got Clayton, we got Jules. How's everybody doing on this wonderful and yet sad Monday night?
Blessed, cannot complain, man. We here.
I'm blessed, but I am very, very disappointed, upset, sad, pissed, aggravated. Everything you can say about watching my team go down in shambles in the manner they went down in. So yeah, I'm not very I'm pissed. I really am pissed in the situation.
So if you didn't know, if you were, laying under a rock, the Houston Texans took an L, man. A tough loss to the New England Patriots on yesterday, as they lost the divisional round game to the New England Patriots 28-16. It was a little rough. I know, Jules, you said you was pissed, angry, all the emotions. For the game itself, what are your initial thoughts? Because we're gonna touch on CJ Stroud. We know that's the main thing. But what are your initial thoughts of the game?
My initial thoughts is past CJ, the amount of injuries and injuries that we had on the offensive side of the ball. When it came to Trent Brown, Schultz went out. Nico Collins had a concussion. Woody Marks was in and out with his injuries. Nick Chubb, the offensive, one of the biggest Achilles heels of this team has always been the O-line rushing attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it was evident to yesterday when they couldn't run the ball at all, and you thought you had a glimpse of what they could be against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which has a good defensive line themselves. I didn't think that I think New England Patriots had a better D line, that much different than from some Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have your starting right tackle, who thought you were gonna probably have the whole game or the whole week, and you can't run the ball at all. It is slick conditions, so I say all that to say that those are the factors that I am sad about, because those things that you can't overcome. So I'm gonna throw out the way right now, because the beginning and end of this problem of the Houston having the best chance they've ever had in the last 23 years, and for the Texans and for the franchise and for the city of Houston themselves of football, the best opportunity almost in 40 years since 1978 and 79 Oilers. That this was the best opportunity for this franchise, for this city, to have a Super Bowl contending situation. And it starts with CJ, and I just want to get that out the way that everybody else is unfortunate. You can't control the weather, you can't control injuries, things happen. But after that, everything else is on CJ.
Yeah, I know. Look, shout out Caesar, man. For sure. Shout out Yvonne. Jules, I know you would know all about the Houston struggles, as you was 15 years old in 1978.
Yeah, I am the older person on this squad. Yes, I am, sir.
But definitely, yeah, it's been struggles. What about you, Clayton?
I mean, Jules basically said everything so eloquently. Weather, coaching, drops, much respect to the Patriots defense. They showed up. They made everything difficult. They played situationally sound. yada yada yada. Um, Now the one thing I will say is it's hard to play offense when you're one dimensional. They couldn't run the football. That's been a story all year long. They have had a chronic issue with moving the with getting pushed at the line of scrimmage, opening up rushing lanes on a consistent basis. Um, Joe Mixon obviously wasn't here. Nick Chubb didn't work out. Woody Marks, he's done admirably, but is he really the guy that's going to be your bell cow? Probably not. Jawar Jordan didn't play. It's just a whole mess. So to say that I'd be fair, I'm fairly trying to say it's hard to play offense when you have to play in a way that the defense assumes you will. Having said that, Jules already said it. All of Houston knows it. The national media knows it. The whole world knows it. CJ Stroud had the worst 2 game stretch, arguably, for a Texans quarterback in franchise history. Arguably.
Hmm.
Given the,
No. Hold on. Not in Houston franchise. NFL history.
well, I was trying to be nice, but yeah.
Oh
Um,
no, and no more being nice. I mean,
it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, and we're gonna get into it later, the press conference snippets and all this stuff. But it's hard because normally you don't try to blame one guy, but when you stink that much out loud, it was one guy, and it was CJ Stroud. So I don't have much else. I really don't.
what you got, AD?
So for me, all faith, all hope, all positivity went out the window with Coleridge Bernard Stroud the fourth
Full
on
government.
Sunday. He has done nothing to give you any kind of inkling that he can figure it out. Um, Unfortunately, realistically, Coleridge Bernard Stroud the fourth is going to be here
Correct.
for the next year at the very least. Um, what else happens after that? Who's
It's
to
on
say?
him.
You know, I know one thing that 110 tax that I've been preaching for the last 4 or 5 months, that's out the window. Um, we ain't touching 100
Mm-mm.
with Will and CJ unless they give 100 to Will by himself.
Right.
Um, so it's just that situation. He let the team down. He let the city down. Um, he didn't do anything to encourage anybody going into next season.
Mm-mm.
If anything, he's caused more of a divide in a situation that Houston Texan fan base has had these last few years when it comes to their quarterback. There was a lot of back and forth and a lot of divide with Deshaun Watson. Then there was a lot of back and forth and divide with Davis Mills. Fortunately, at this point, Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV has made it very, very easy for fans to pick what side they on, and everybody's in agreement, and they all on the same side.
That's rare. That
That
that's rare.
that
Mostly,
huh?
mostly.
About 96.5,
Yeah,
about
you talking about it?
96.5%.
You got an A. If you was grading it, it's an A.
It's about
It's an
96%.
A.
I rarely do you see a fan base be this united in unison over the same thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely.
And the crazy part, he has more playoff wins than everybody in Houston. Everybody, all the Texas fans, all Texas quarterbacks prior to him.
Yeah, but they've never had this kind of defense before.
Right.
When you have a defense that has equaled the scoring total of all 3 opposing offenses that you've beat,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
definition of being carried. You can argue the first season was the one where, outside of the back-to-back pick sixes, CJ did go off. Like he had his best offensive game of the postseason of his 3 years here. Outside of that, it's been getting carried.
He got carried. He got carried all year.
Yeah,
The defense, no matter who was on under the center, they got carried.
carried. Backpack,
Hmm.
And and
satchel,
and
knapsack.
and, and as a CJ founding president situation, Davis Mills actually is the only quarterback this season to actually win a game.
Yeah. And Jules, we talked about it offline. I posed this question in many different places for those that support him. Name me a game this season that CJ Stroud has won himself that you can point to. Name me a game this season out of the 19 games that we played,
That
and
he himself.
or the 16 that he himself played. Name me any one of those 16 that you can attribute to say yes, that win was on CJ Stroud.
I I'm really trying to think about it.
But the only thing you can say is he put up enough points early. He hung in there in the third and fourth quarter to not do no harm. But to say that he put the team on his arm, his intelligence, his quarterback skills, his master of the offense, there's not one
Mm.
game this season.
Mm.
And then any game you can say the lead was insurmountable in favor of Houston. Like I'm thinking of right. I was just about to say CX easy, Baltimore, but that don't count because that was just a complete demolition job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can say the 40, you know what, the 49ers, but even then the defense balled out. But I still look at the 49ers game as like arguably his best offensive game, but that does not answer the question
The
of
defense
did
still
he.
won that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the defense balled out. I just say that because Nico was also out, so there was that. But still, it was not CJ lead us to victory. CJ, your mastery from the pocket was the underlying theme of the entire game. Like it was just, the same thing. So it doesn't really answer the question. But
And don't forget that the 49 defense was very
yeah,
I think they
depleted.
had like 4 or 5 guys starters out.
And
Mhm.
honestly, to your point, Jules, yeah, Davis
And
Mills
no
led.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Davis Mills led multiple game-winning drives, like multiple.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville, Tennessee, heck, even the Colts. Like even that one, Week 18, we count that because it was backups against backups. That's a wash.
Right, and
So
that's why you say when what he did, he's good enough in the to get you a lead in the early and let the defense play,
yeah,
but he's yet to come back or when the defense gives you just enough for by up, and then he said, okay, well we need you to score or this defensive effort is done. He doesn't he hasn't done it all season. He is putting up these numbers and these touchdowns early or these field
mhm.
goals early. But then it gets real required in defense. He just sits on and let defense do the work. But he's never been a point where he done it, and that's why he's a shade better than Davis Mills. As people want to say, the late takes drawn drives. Yes, that's great to win the games, but at least CJ ain't never put you in position, other than the last playoff games, for defense to be in that situation to win a drive on him. So it's complicated.
Yeah, look. So what you saying, Jules, is CJ Stroud is a front runner.
Yeah,
So
Oh, the glasses.
yeah, no, it's just the point of that CJ Stroud, man, or Coleridge Bernard Stroud before,
Dang, I thought he had his name back.
no, that he needs to figure it out. I mean, at the very least, and we'll play a clip or two of the press conference. But the fact that you went on, we'll talk about it because I just feel like where his mind is, I don't think there's a lot of accountability.
Mm-mm. Not self
Um,
accountability.
no, not at all. Like you can say the right things in these press conferences and take the blame and take accountability in that form, but I don't feel like he fully takes the full weight of what really just happened, especially if New England goes on to play in the Super Bowl and it happen. It may happen that they win the Super Bowl.
they
They
should.
may.
I mean,
Mm.
they should just go to Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
make it to Super Bowl.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Seattle
But if
should.
they win it, it's gonna hurt even more
To get
Oh yeah,
stomped
it
out by
is.
Seattle.
because then you say, well, we literally could have been get in, win a championship in our first time. So this again, this loss sucks This loss hurts. It's just another notch in the Houston fan fandom, bucket. Um, I know that some Houston fans said it was almost or worse than 35-3. Um,
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
you know,
I wouldn't say
um,
35-3. Nah.
I think
Oh,
it's on par,
I
huh?
would. I would.
You
Mm.
would you?
I would. I would. Because you knew the Kansas City Chiefs were a better squad than you. You knew they had offensive explosion
No,
capabilities.
Oh, you
no,
no, you talking
dude.
about 24.
You
Oh, we
talking about
talking
24-0.
35-3.
I'm talking about 35-3.
Yeah, I'm taking
Bills and
35. I'm
Oilers.
taking 35-3. I'm taking that one.
Oh, we talking about the Oilers too. Oh,
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about
oh yeah,
Houston
yeah.
fandom in general.
Yeah, I'm taking that one. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, look,
Oh,
yes, for all our belly aching, yes, Houston has been littered with these kind of problems, but that's kind of our point. Like to the OGs, yeah, you always got to give them 35-3. But the
yeah.
Texans, make no mistake, in a very truncated fashion, has re-traumatized this city multiple years at a time. Even though they're the youngest franchise, they brought listen, the destruction they have wrought on the fan base psyche is something to be studied.
Yeah, and we
They
still are the only franchise that has not made it to the end to the any championship, um,
since
any championship game.
1970.
No, no,
Since
no. The Houston
No,
Texans are the only NFL
yeah.
franchise that has yet to make it to a championship game,
yeah.
and that is depressing. So I mean, and it doesn't give you hope for next year because you got all the same players, and CJ Stroud is still your quarterback. Does he progress?
He
You
gonna have
know,
to. He.
I
I
think
mean, he gonna have to if
DJ,
he wants that job next year. He gonna have to.
I mean, DJ Wallace said we will only know if he takes full accountability with his actions during the offseason and what he does next season. I agree. How does he tackle this offseason? Because
honestly,
I go ahead because I just feel like he lazy, man, and I don't think he gonna.
honestly, what I think is you have to now officially make him uncomfortable. He
Mm.
has lost all privilege of being able to just feel this undisputed QB1 status and all that comes with it. I'm not saying you Anthony Richardson him, but this I heard the ideas of quarterback coach changes. I heard the idea of coordinate of pass game or run game coordinator, all these things. I think you don't put it into his hands to take himself accountable. You trust him to do that, but as far as you're on our clock, we're going to do everything possible to take that out of your hands and to make you make a decision. We're going to put you in a position where either you're going to respond or we're going to find out really quick whether or not we need to move on because
It's
pressure makes diamonds, but pressure also busts pipes.
it's
So
not like
I think,
it's like they need to stop calling him.
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think you have to take the choice out of his hands. Like we talked about that earlier today on the phone. Like you just can't let him walk around the building as if, everything's the same. Take it out of his hands. But it just depends on how aggressive do the Texans want to be.
They got to be real aggressive though, Clayton. They got to. You have to be really, really aggressive and really, really harsh with him because you are at the point where you have to do a fifth year option and figure out if you have to find a quarterback within the next 2 years.
I wouldn't even do the fifth year. Y'all better than me.
I'm just saying as an argument point. That's why you have to be harsh on him because you don't know what you have. You don't know
Mhm.
if the 2 year success that he had these past 2 years where it still was shaky, but you saw some glimpse of hope of matureness and offensive minded just to do better. Then you see when you have a OC, which I'm not saying is the best in the world, but you can see that he has some knowledge and some skills where he's working on that tells you that he needs a better quarterback to run it, and it's there because the plays are open.
Well, I was gonna say to AD's point, he said CJ is lazy. I think it's more of I question how much does CJ care about the finer details of what it means to be an NFL quarterback.
To be great.
Yeah, that's the lazy part. Like that you don't want to take the time to go and master the things that you need to master, the little things.
Yeah,
Learning,
offense. Yeah,
even learning the playbook. Like you're too lazy to master the playbook. Like we've had procedure penalties, illegal motions, illegal shifts all season long. all season long. And that just comes to for the little things, knowing who needs to be where, making sure that all your receivers know where they need to be. We got a freaking illegal shift penalty because Jalen Noel didn't know where he needed to line up. So all of these things, kind of compile and grow into something bigger than what it needs to be. But he definitely has to figure it out because again, I'm on the side of I'm not giving up a 5th-year option for him. I'm not paying him $26 million. I'm not doing it. And at the end of the day, I don't want to fall into the trap where you pick up his 5th-year option. He knows he's on a essentially a contract year. And what happens always in any sport when the player's on a contract year, they ball out for whatever reason, whatever's been holding them back, whatever's been stopping them, whatever's been making them, kind of digress. When they're on a contract year, they ball out and they act crazy. I don't want ever go in that danger zone with CJ or Coleridge where he balls out next year. We make it to an AFC Championship game or whatever, and then he's up there with his hand out talking about I want my money,
Well,
and I'm not doing that. I'm
I
not doing it.
I can disagree with you a little bit on that one. Is on those kind of players, you never see the greatness or you never see the shine. You don't really see if they could turn the page. It's like, okay, all of a sudden they turn it on and you've never seen this greatness happens. With CJ, you can see it in the first 2 seasons that he has the potential. And even in this 10-game win streak and even the losses that he's done, you can see the quarterback play of a good quarterback.
Hmm.
It's just decision makings that he struggles with. So it's not his arm talent. It's not his ability to throw the ball. It's not his ability to run when he needs to run. It's his decision making. That's what you're banking on. Because if he's a good quarterback with the whole traits and skill, he
Mhm.
is a good quarterback. It's the interception of the mindset of not being fully committed to being that extra level. So
Well,
that's why I said it's very hard to judge because you do have 2 years of success. You do have a 10-game winning streak. You do
Well,
have these
will you
balls.
call his second year successful? Like that successful?
I mean, the last game was the playoff game. It wasn't on the offense. It was a defense.
Mm.
This season you can clearly say the defense was 10 times, 100 times better than offense.
Unworldly,
Unworldly.
ungenerational.
But you couldn't say that
mm,
last year. They were good last year. So, but then the offense were 50-50. They ran through all last year 50-50. They wasn't really the offense wasn't really better than all them because they had their struggles. The defense wasn't better than they had their struggles here and there. But when it came to the playoff game against the Chiefs last year, if I'm not mistaken, or whoever it wasn't the offense that lost the game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been better,
So,
yes, but you put that on the offensive scheme, and we all knew Bobby was over his head. But now, what do you have? And that's why it's the huge what if. And I get what you're saying where you're scared to give CJ the 5th-year option, but what do you really have? And that's what I think Clayton said earlier is you have to really ball out this offseason and focus on upgrading as much talent on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not saying you just sign and draft all the high quality. I want high quality players.
yeah.
I mean, you had an argument on a couple weeks ago when you compare the defensive high quality
yeah.
defense players they have versus the offense. The defense wipes the floor with them.
Mm-hmm.
You have first round pick, second round pick, Pro Bowlers, all
That's what the
pros,
investment was.
right? So, and I'm for me being a CJ supporter, I don't want this to sound like I am giving him excuses, but that offensive system and players are really unproven. You got an injury, Christian Kirk, who comes back injured every year. Nico Collins is always out missing games. Schultz had a big year, but that was an anomaly because a couple years ago he wasn't that strong. Your O line is still patchwork because you and oh, once again I'm not trying to give him any credit, but when you saw the O line versus the Patriots defensive line with that left guard and center, there was no way you could run the ball against that. Patterson and Jake Andrews were the same size as me 10 years ago when I was a slim young man. Against those powerhouses of the Patriots they had no chance. They couldn't even I don't think they even attempted to run the ball on the left side but 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And one play, they wanted the tight end to come from the right side to the left side. He got pushed back so far that whole play, and that led to an interception. And I don't want to give CJ excuses. I'm not going to do it. But when it comes to talent of the offensive side of the ball, it ain't that much talent, especially not young talent.
Yeah, look, I understand, Larry, but that football ahead of him may not be with the Houston Texans.
It could be. It could be, and I'm not arguing about not being worried about the 5th year option. I'm not imagining that you don't want to do it. But I can understand in the room when you assess the situation as a whole that's the key reason why you have the 5th year option. Is before you guarantee a contract that you really can't get out of. It's that let me give that one more year. Let me get the franchise tag. Let me see if I just do a little extra more that you could progress. And that was the whole beauty of the 5th year option.
Yeah. Hey, so Topper from Florida said Drake May's offensive line is no better, but he still performed this. It's
He
excuses for CJ at this point.
he didn't perform. Don't let's not go that route. The dude had damn it 4 fumbles. He
Yeah.
he had 3 touchdowns. The one touchdown to Bouye was a just a phenomenal catch.
Yeah, I mean
He threw
that was a Herculean catch. That was like one.
that's
Yeah.
it. Let's not pile on CJ and make
I
these
mean,
safeties.
if you wanna look at it, I would say
Yeah,
the one touchdown was, I mean, all three of them were the receiver making great plays.
yeah. I'm not
Douglas
doing that.
Douglas making a play and being able to, break away from Bullock. Bullock kind of jumped the route. So I mean, that's not much on. I don't feel like that was just an excellent play by Drake May. What up, DQ? And then Diggs again, like Brandon saying that Diggs catch was crazy. That Diggs held on to that.
He
Sam
know
was
how to
able to take
he know how to grip something around, don't he?
huh?
He know how to grip something around, don't he?
Shaped like a football too, ain't it?
Well, he boy,
Uh,
them figure muscles he got on
hey,
that last when them catches.
yeah,
That that's a veteran.
right. And then you go with the the booty catch. Um, it's crazy. Straight from there to down. But the booty catch is that that was a one-handed perfect coverage from Derek Stingley. And you can say a good throw from May, but normal receivers aren't making that catch.
He threw it where it was gonna go out of bounds, or he had to make, like you said, a hurricane effort. And even with CJ, and where we go, when CJ was trying to throw the ball out, the defense back made a great
Yeah.
effort to get an interception.
So Larry Payne said, "Let's keep it 100. Texans aren't moving away from CJ." Yeah, we've already said they're not moving away from him next year.
Yeah, but I'm
We don't know
sorry.
what's happening after that.
I
Anything that can happen after that.
Yeah, we can keep 100, but we're not gonna say uh, Drizzy Drake was that much better than C.J. Stroud. We're not gonna go that route. He
Look,
won the game. I'll give you that. But we ain't gonna say that he was that much better with all line. The O line was did enough, and they ran the ball better than we did. They had
look,
better backs than we did.
they did. I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna play this little clip. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna play this clip. From Jacob and Houston Stressings. They had it was a good clip about D'Amico Ryans when they asked him about Nick Caley and all that. So I'm gonna play this really quick. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
It's very low.
Hey, Nick, OC, are you confident in Nick getting better and will he have that opportunity?
Yeah, with the coaching staff, with our players, you guys asking about contracts, coaches, play. Like I'm evaluating everything as we go throughout the week.
You made the tough decision to move.
Yeah, so he said, "Give me a week, we'll figure it out." Um, so I mean, like that type of stuff, like that doesn't instill confidence in like Kaylee.
Nope.
It doesn't instill to me. It doesn't instill confidence in D'Amico. I mean, it's Coach Bernard, and I'm trying to find a clip where um he brought up C.J. Stroud in his contract. So let me find that clip, and then I'll play that as well. So give me
The first person I'm firing is Jarrod Johnson. I don't care what nobody say.
hmm. What does Gerard have to do with anything though?
It's his mechanics. It's the computer. It's the QB skills that he should be learning from somebody at a career coach. And the one thing is also is getting him comfortable because we all know Gerard Johnson was here because one reason he was here because he had coached him at one point or at 7-7. What the story was, if I'm gonna make a point to CJ, say, hey, bro, you gotta do better. We're gonna keep everything on. We're gonna get you somebody who will coach you hard. Because clearly, you and Johnson, you and your boy got too much. Y'all too cool. And you not listening to him. If you're gonna listen to him, we're gonna find somebody to listen to, and then that's gonna be an indication. If you're not coachable and you're not getting these traits I need to get, then you're gonna be gone. But keeping Johnson keeps us understanding that it's the same thought. How you gonna hold him accountable if you can't hold a quarterback coach accountable?
Yeah, status quo.
Yeah, I mean, those are moves, and I feel like those are going to happen. The changes are going to happen. D'Amico Ryan's basically insinuated in so many words that it is going to happen. That there are going to be changes that are made um, on that offensive side of the football. Um, so it's a lot to kind of see. What's going on. So I'm just again trying to find these little clips.
Mhm.
Um,
That goes to the point what Clayton said earlier. It's like make him uncomfortable, and that's one thing that make him uncomfortable is firing his homeboy.
Well, and
mm,
then in making him uncomfortable, also that exposes his attitude even further. If
Correct.
he really is receiving accountability, then he's gonna accept it and say, you know what, I did it to myself. I need this pressure. But
Hmm.
if he has the audacity to feel offended, why are you changing this and that? Then
Right.
that confirms for me that you need to go ahead and like look for houses elsewhere.
Yeah. If he's resisting at any portion other than saying I understand, if he has any back talk or any like I don't like this, it's gonna be an indication that he's not good for going in the future.
And now, see at that point, then AD, to your point, that's when if you see like a surprise, and I'm not trying to get crazy, but we talked about it. At that point, you might see one of those surprise trade alerts where it's like you're trying to figure out what the heck happened, and then word comes out there was disagreement or friction or firing Gerard Johnson, fractured the locker room, like that kind of stuff. Then yeah, you would hope that that's not the case because again, we've established CJ says all the right things, but your actions speak louder than words. But we're gonna see though. Like D'Amico has been unafraid of making changes before, but again, there's been enough of the status quo to allow CJ to keep a semblance of how things used to be. And it's time to be a fish out of water. We just got to see it because we've seen CJ at his worst.
Right.
It can't get any worse. Well, I don't know, but
And Clayton, to add to that point is there's no way any Texan fan, no whether you know this man, not he got from Houston area, what other situation, that he's the best guy for the job.
who?
yeah.
The QB coach. There's
Oh,
he is not the best guy for the job.
well, because Gerard Johnson. I mean, if we're talking about the same guy, he wasn't really. I'm not saying a QB coach has to be like a Hall of Fame quarterback, but in my mind, if I want you to get to a level of excellence, then as much as I can, I'm going to put coaches in your path that's either done it at a high level or I'm confident can teach you to get there. I've seen names like Case Keenum, um, who has done well in his career for who he has been. Um, and I think that's the only prominent name, but no, I think you have to revamp everything. You got to upgrade everything, like from
Hell,
QB coach to
I go. I ask Philip Rivers. He want to be a QB coach.
So I think that you also need to bring in a prominent name. Barry brought that as well. A prominent name to go alongside um, Nick Haley.
Hmm.
isn't that what I
Somebody
said?
experience. Yeah.
And I got drugged for saying it. I said, even if you don't fire Kaylee, he also, like Stroud, he cannot be allowed to just walk around carte blanche and just, like some type of advisor, some type of offensive, assistant, somebody to fill in his gaps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And
mind
it's
that.
okay to say,
There was a name brought up, and that name was the name that I brought up way back when, before we even hired Bobby Sloyd.
Gary
And
Kubiak?
that was no, that was doggone Clint Kingsbury to
Yeah,
go along with
Bobby Sawyer. Yeah,
Bobby Sloyd.
You said it earlier.
Now, if you do the same thing, change what happened immediately because last year it took him to Friday to fire Sloyd. Shout out to Atlanta. And I mean, we're almost approaching the day. We 5 days away from the announcement that Bobby Sloyd got fired.
Right.
Do we make history? And it happens on the same day again? We
look,
will see.
look, real quick. Let me comment on that real quick. I'm sorry, but I'm sick of the narrative that why it's not the best look to go through multiple coordinators. I agree that it does not come off the best and it shows a lack of stability. I can understand all that stuff, but I'm not against being quickly and efficiently identify that you made a mistake. Two things can be true. No, I don't like the fact that we're talking yet again about whether or not you got to fire an OC, which, by the way, I don't think is a priority fire anyway. But
Correct.
since we're talking about it, but if you're able to course correct and it leads you to a Super Bowl, we will not be discussing having a third OC in 3 years.
So here's my question, both of y'all. Say, and this is for the audience too. Say you do move on from Katie, and you say you do hire a Brian Dyball or these guys, Keith Kingsbury, these guys who,
Mike
or
McDaniel.
all those guys. Do you allow him to hire his staff, or is he going to be hamstring with the guys who've been there for the last couple of years too?
Yeah.
Does he have to keep Cole Pakovich? Does he have to keep the quarterback
Oh,
coach?
he needs to keep Cole Popovich. He needs to keep Cole Popovich.
I'm not too sure that he's a must need either though.
Well, I mean, you look at what the job he did with the offensive line. I don't think with the switching and moving around and all that type of stuff. I think he's proven himself adequate enough to say he should be able to keep a job.
But if
Yeah,
if
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 anybody, not everybody else on the table though.
but if
Yeah.
Brian
So
Daboll say, "Hey, I got a better O line coach,"
where did you see his O
if
line coach
if he
in New
said
York?
if he said he got a better O line coach he could bring in, and you're
Live.
coaching this
Show
man
me
with the
where he at.
sequence,
Show me where he at.
it's strong professor.
If it ain't,
If
what's the coach name that was in Tennessee? Callahan.
Oh,
if he
If
say
it
that
ain't
he has a,
Callahan, is it Callahan?
it's a
it
question.
was either Callahan or the Eagles O line coach.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but one of those two.
But it's a
If it
question
ain't
though.
one of them,
If he said he got a better line coach, are you gonna mandate
prove it.
he keep the
I'm going to
situation?
say prove it. Show me the stats. Show me where this O line coach has done a better job than what Cole Popovich has done with the cluster that he has right now.
So that goes.
Outside, and if you want to go just strictly talent, he had Ariane Arcery and Titus Howard and just a bunch of throwaways. And that offensive line played extremely well towards the end of the year.
Only in pass protection.
But what were we worse at?
We was always good in pass protection.
Jules, now you come
We
on now.
we
Now
has
you
al-
now you
we
trying to reinvent the wheel, and we're
no
not
we have
doing that.
always been bad at run protecting. We've always
We've
been bad
been
at run
bad
protection.
at pass
No,
protection.
we haven't. Rush protection.
Dude, CJ Stroud got sacked like damn near 70 times.
But that's not all O line. When you can't run the ball and get the touchdowns in the red zone, that's because your run block is not strong enough
Look, I can say that the run blocking has not been great, but
in the last 3 years.
the pass blocking has always been worse. You can say run blocking is been bad, and that's a legitimate argument, but pass blocking for definitely has been worse.
Well, you can arguably say that
Like,
CJ. Was the reason why a lot of them sacks too.
And but that goes with a lot of quarterbacks, but the pass protection has been horrid. And I'm gonna answer this question. Topper said, how many head coaches have made it through 3 coordinators? How many head coaches have made it to the divisional round in their first 3 years? D'Amico
Hey,
Ryans is gonna get that grace.
we're not gonna put D'Amico Ryan on any kind of hot seat.
Oh no, D'Amico Ryans don't
No,
deserve
not at all.
Not at
Not
all.
at all. He's the
D'Amico,
most successful coach in franchise history.
Before
yeah.
you put D'Amico on the hot seat, you better put Nick Casario on the hot seat first.
Yeah,
No, look, D'Amico Ryans, he has virtually all the influence in the building right now. That is
yeah.
like that's your guy.
That's his team. That's everything D'Amico. Lump said the Eagles are on their 5th OC, which is very true.
But see, that's what I'm saying. There's something to be said about having a certain level of shamelessness of we're going to make changes regardless of your feelings. Like if it's not working, I'm not gonna keep doing it. And yes, I'm not saying like keep making bad decisions, but like this is the same Eagles team that won a Super Bowl after just paying Carson Wentz. When people called them fools, they picked up Jalen Hurts, and what did they do? Like, come on now. So this is not the time for feelings and all this stuff, bro. It's about results. It is a results-based business, and if it's about what have you done for me right now, that's all this is.
Yeah, look,
And the Eagles don't care.
and I don't want to dive kind of go off the rails with other teams. It's just the point of
Thank you, Brandon.
look, and that's fine. But I'm telling you this right now. Cole Popovich has done an excellent job.
But the bottom line is you cannot be a run heavy coach, as all y'all keep saying, as coach speakers said, you want a run first offense. Your run offensive line can't be this bad.
It's not
So
a one now. You need it. So that's why I said reshape
I'm
this offensive ideology and
yeah,
become a run
you
team.
got he this is the first year that Cole was able to get a player. Would you say that Ursery is bad in run blocking?
He all right.
Right, but that's a guy that you can say that Cole handpicked. Everybody else he had to kind of work, kind of deal with. Like it's like I got a whole bunch of different BS in my hands. I just got to figure out how to put it together. Like you got all these different colors of Play-Doh, and you got to make sure I'm gonna put it together to make something.
So did he handpick Cam Robinson? Did he handpick the guard that couldn't make a team to you?
Nope.
You can't do that. You can't say he handpicked a draft pick, but he handpicked a free agency. You can't do that.
Guess what happened?
You ain't gonna do that. You can't do that. That's
okay.
That's moving the goalposts.
That's not
You
moving the
can't say he
goalposts.
handpicked one thing, but he handpicked the free agency either.
So
Nah, you
name
can't
me.
do that.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Name me. Okay. Name me. Let me say this. I'm gonna say it like this. Then he had very, very much. He had a lot of input in drafting Ariante Ursery because he was in those rooms. He was through the full draft process, scouting him and everything like that. When it comes to Cam Robinson and when it comes to Ed Ingram, that has Nick Casario written all over it. So again,
if you say so,
I mean,
it ain't that they talk about that because we still
no, it ain't. Black Line said agree with AD. Cole did his job this year. He fixed the stunt. Exactly. We couldn't keep Jules. That's how I know pass blocking was horrible. We couldn't stop a stunt for nothing.
The thing is, when we're saying the O line is improved, we are not saying they're a top 5 unit. I've seen people say that. No, they just advanced from horrid to okay to meh.
Right.
And for this
that jump.
Yeah.
Hold on. And
people saying it's top 5.
Who said
yeah,
that?
no.
A lot of people say it.
Oh, they
I don't know who said.
they smoking that good stuff. They smoking that good old snowfall.
The glaze. The glaze.
I'm telling you this right now. You took an offensive line that was 32 in the league, and you made them top 15.
Like, okay, and that is tremendous for this offense.
That is a humongous jump, and I'm telling you this right now. That was the first thing that we said during this offseason. We are an offensive line, middle of the pack offensive line from getting to the Super Bowl. Is that not what we said on this podcast?
All right, so there's no point. So
and we should have been in the Super Bowl.
He should have.
Yep.
We're gonna say okay. We're gonna say because there's four new starters.
Yeah.
4 new starters. So it was
He
talent.
does need some talent. Like this is the thing between him and Strausser. Strausser had all the talent, but didn't know what to do with it.
This man was half retired going into last offseason.
Now you sound like it's dysfunctional from the front office.
I mean, we can go there on another
That's
episode
what
too.
I'm gonna the Cole back next year with Better I see better. Right now he's still flecking me. He's still
But
flaky.
so this
It's
is
still
the
the
reason
status
why
quo.
and I know we say Brian Daboll, but I just want to go back to Brian Daboll really quick. Brian Daboll probably coached one of the worst offensive line performances we've ever seen against the Dallas Cowboys.
All I said was if you bring in this big name and they want to bring an offense coordinator, all line coach, will you give him authority because he needs to have full authority.
Yeah, so this is the thing, and you sticking on online coach, but I need Ben McDaniel's gone. I need Danny Barrett gone.
I don't
I
care.
need Jim Moreland gone.
I
I
don't
need
care.
all
I
these.
don't care
These.
anyone.
No. I need these coaches, and this is what I said before you even hired Bobby Sloyd. The coaches that you have retained from Bill O'Brien, they've been some of these coaches have been here since Bill O'Brien,
Correct.
Lovie Smith.
Correct.
What's that boy name? 1 year, David Culley, and doggone D'Amico Ryans. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they've been through 4 coaching regimes. And they should not be here anymore.
And this is my question. I use Cole Bachwich just because it's first in my mind. If you bring in a top veteran offensive coordinator to be the head coach of your offense, do you allow him to bring his own staff in? Are you going to say no? I want you to keep 4 or 5 guys from my staff and just work with that.
No, you can't. You can't do that. You've done that 2 times with Slowick and with Kaylee.
And that was my only question.
That's a non-starter, but that's if they fire Kaylee.
And that was my only question. So, I use Cole Bachwich. Y'all must be in love with Cole. It's cool.
Oh, I love Cole. Anybody that can make rotten lemons make good lemonade, I'm good with that. Anybody that can do that, and then Daboll coached with Cole in New England, so why would he let Cole go? I know
that's not the point though. Y'all
that was I think he used the wrong name. Let's say if you would have used Mike McDaniel. Because
clearly y'all love Cole.
Yeah. Then Topper said, "Can you trust Caserio to build an offensive line?" That's not the right question. The question is, do I trust D'Amico Ryans? And the answer is yes. I trust D'Amico Ryans.
I don't know about that one.
I trust D'Amico.
And I don't know about that one.
I do. And the reason why I trust D'Amico is that I think D'Amico has the first year and the first 2 years, he kind of was hands off. He was like, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to let Nick do his job. He got me Will Anderson, so I got to trust him a little bit and go from there, right? Because he got him his defensive players. He got him, Nick Caserio. I think Nick Caserio drafts better on defense than he does on offense.
Because he's leaning on D'Amico Ryans.
What about the defensive players that were here before D'Amico got here?
Who's left besides?
Well, I'm just not even saying who's left, but you look at the productive players that Nick Caserio.
It's just Stingley. Stingley's the only person left, but that wasn't before D'Amico. Everybody else is D'Amico guys.
What? No,
who else?
That's not true.
Who else?
Pampa Power.
Who?
Pampa Power.
Harry Totoa?
No. Who had a pamper on their head?
Oh, Petrie?
Yep. Petrie was here. And when D'Amico got here, he had Jonathan Grenard, who was a productive player that Nick Caserio drafted. Like, you look at, and again, yes, the defenses were young with Lovie Smith and with David Culley, but the defenses weren't the main problem. They had players on those rosters. And
I'll tell you this. I believe if D'Amico wasn't here and they kept Lovie Smith or somebody else, David Petrie would have been out of here because he would not have made him be a nickelback. They'd have kept trying to put him in safety.
Man, look, I'm laughing because one says CJ got juice questioning D'Amico.
No, who said that? Y'all not listening.
No, he's it was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh,
Blake Cashman is another one.
trash.
just get us some white O linemen.
Hey,
Yeah.
if y'all look at my last mock draft, I got a
Mhm.
big strong white boy as my number one draft pick.
And where he from, Jules?
Texas A&M. I don't give a damn if he was for the moon.
But that goes to the point that has been made when it comes to defensive players like D'Amico Ryans has had his hands on it. But I'm saying I just feel like, and again, I'm gonna say this: Will Anderson was going to be the pick whether D'Amico Ryans was the head coach or not. Like that, I strongly feel that was the case. That Will Anderson was a Nick Casario guy, and he was going to pick Will if D'Amico was the head coach or not. So, um, I look at the productivity of Ariane Arcer as a positive sign that they figured out what, and I feel like that goes along with Cole Popovich being in the room. Is that I'm identifying, and even if you want to say him picking Cam Robinson, him picking Ed Ingram, him getting Jake Andrews, they brought a different mentality to the offensive line that wasn't there.
You don't even like Jake Andrews.
I'm not saying I'm just talking about the mentality part. I'm not saying that I like them or not. What they brought to this team, regardless, is that they brought a different mentality, a nasty mentality that they at the end of the day, this offensive line finished plays. They didn't do it every play, but you can go and find clips from every game where this offensive line, one of the five, put somebody in the dirt.
How you know
And
that wasn't a player trait they already have? How you know
that's my point,
it's on Cole
Jules.
Popovich though?
But that's my point.
But you giving Cole Popovich credit for it though.
I'm giving Cole Popovich the credit for identifying the mentality that he wanted. So if he wanted the nasty mentality, if they had to trade, right? I'm not saying he put the trade in them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that. I don't think if I say if that's the way it came across, that wasn't the point. The point was he identified players with the trait that he said, I want this trait on this team for this offensive line, and he went and got the players. If you want to say that, whether they're great or not, Cam Robinson had that mentality. Jake Andrews had that mentality. Ed Ingram for damn sure had that mentality, which changed the whole scope of the offensive line. They had the Laramie Tunsil mentality of I'm too cool for school, I'ma just do my job a little bit, make it look like I'm doing something. And it rubbed off on Titus Howard. Titus Howard had a realization in his career, in his mind, that he's the different type of player. He's always been a good player, but you didn't see all that extra that trying to follow behind Laramie Tunsil that Titus was doing.
Okay, we'll talk about it more. We'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk
I
about
don't
it
want to get
more,
down because
but
we differ on Cole Popovich, but it's okay.
I mean, hey, no, people not gonna like it because he was a part of the old regime, and
I,
and I'm not saying that's what your stance is. I'm saying a lot of people didn't like Cole to begin with, and Cole has proven a lot of people wrong, in that sense.
we'll see.
But we here. I do want to touch on because we pushing that out. I do want to touch on a list of notable free agents,
Mm.
on the defensive side of the football that are going to be very, very kind of impactful in how we're gonna move forward. Um, you got, and I'll just list them all. This offense and defense, but you got Christian Kirk, Jimmy Ward, Danico Autry, Sheldon Rankins, Derek Barnett, EJ Speed, Foley Fadakowski, Tommy Townsend, the punter, Tim Settle. That contract went by fast. Tim Settle, Nick Chubb, MJ Stewart, Braxton Berrios, Dario Gumbawale, Ed Ingram, Kurt Heinrich, Naquan Jones, Leaky Fotu, Kayvon Wallace, Christian Harris, Damone Clark, Jamarcus Ingram, Trent Brown. I'm
Can
gonna
I
give you. Go ahead. Go
can I
ahead.
start?
Go ahead.
My biggest name on there is Jimmy Ward, but I don't have faith in whoever called me out by not have faith in Miko. If Jimmy Ward on this team, even for a league minimal, me and D'Amico are gonna fight. I might lose that fight, but
Mhm.
I'm tired of seeing Jimmy Ward on this team. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just the Jimmy Ward thing. Just
Look,
had to say it.
I know Jimmy Ward is your kryptonite. You can't stand Jimmy Ward. You hate. I say it like this.
He never plays.
That's it.
You can't trust him,
That's
regardless of what you feel about him. The best
that's fine.
ability is what?
Available.
Availability. And he's
That's all I
never
keep saying.
here.
That's why I keep saying. Everybody keep saying Jimmy Ward. I hate it because he ain't never played. He played 2 games and say, okay, great. Then he lose 4 games a whole season, 8 games. I mean, come on. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this, man. Look, Jimmy Ward never was a needle mover, and for me, I wasn't never gonna sit up here and stand on a soapbox about Jimmy Ward because he didn't never move the needle. He was, at the end of the day, he was supposed to be a mentor, and he was just
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Like I'm not expecting Jimmy Ward or never expected Jimmy Ward to be a pivotal part of this defense.
He was supposed to though.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, that's what D'Amico brought him in. Like as you said, he was supposed to be the game
D'Amico
changer.
D'Amico Ryans brought him in as a mentor specifically for Jalen Petrie.
But to
That
but
was
to
it.
but to be a starter.
Because you didn't have another safety at that point in time.
And
That was
and once
that
and
was
once he
before Kalen Bullock. That was before
right.
all of that. That was before then. That was D'Amico's first year. He brought in a familiar face
Here it is.
who knew his defense. That was it. And
And
that's okay.
gave him an extension.
He didn't give him an extension. Who gave him an
He,
extension?
he gave him an extension.
Who gave him an extension?
Don't do that. Now you trying to device words. Anyway,
You
we
know
have
who gave him an extension.
we have an A&M guy that's on the first free agent.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go down my picks. I'm gonna go down people I would bring back. And it's gonna start with the 2 defensive tackles. Well, 3. I would bring back 3 defensive tackles. Sheldon Rankins. I would bring back Naquan Jones,
I like Jones.
and I would bring back Tim Settle. I would say 4 defensive tackles. Leaky Fotu played well. Naquan Jones, Tim Settle, and Sheldon Rankins. I would bring them all back. As defensive tackles. You can let Foley go. I would also bring back Derek Barnett as well. Give him a nice little 2-year contract because he performed well as a reserve defensive end.
What's Tim Settle's injury?
I think it was a foot. It was lower leg.
Okay.
Nothing that was crazy. That would make you be like pause or anything like that.
Who would you bring back, Clayton?
If he's available.
Me? No, I'm here. For me, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. For me, look, maybe unpopular. Christian Kirk on the team friendly. I think, like you said, AD, all those defensive choices. I think this defense definitely could have been better with having, a Settle or Rankins, right? Like, I mean, Rankins already here, but bringing those guys back. That's your interior. That's your meat and potatoes. Of course, no to Jimmy Ward. Of course not. Kevon Wallace, no. Tommy Townsend, I like Tommy Townsend. Bring it back.
Unless they draft upon him.
Yeah. All right. But all those. Well, no. See, I'm trying to save all my draft for offensive players. So I'm not going to waste nothing on the punter. Not this year.
And in the 7th
No,
round?
I think everybody you mentioned plus. I mean, well, yeah, fine, but no,
That's
give me the
punters
key
normally get
contributors off that.
drafted.
Oh yeah, no, I'm cool with it. I don't know what I was thinking, but no, man. Like I said, give me those D tackles. Let me keep Christian Kirk on the team friendly. Yeah, we rock out that way.
What about Ed Ingram? Nobody brought up Ed Ingram.
Well, y'all didn't give me a chance to say what I want.
I would.
Hey,
I would
you
go
had
Ed
your
Ingram.
soapbox. You used your time to say who you didn't want instead of saying who you wanted. So don't put that on us.
Ed Ingram. I'll bring back Ed Ingram.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Ed Ingram was eating pancakes all year.
Does Dario Gumbawale?
Nope.
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 Look, the pettiness in me wants Dario to come back on a 1-year contract just to piss everybody off. Just so everybody can be. I want that to be the first free agent signing that they make is Dario Gumbawale and piss everybody off.
We only got one bona fide running back, okay, and that's Woody Marks. Everybody else needs to be upgraded to
You don't
running
Well,
like
back.
British Brooks?
No, I don't like British Books.
Okay, EJ Speed. You wouldn't bring. I would bring EJ Speed back as
I
well.
would, I would.
So I mean, again, if you honestly, if you were to run this team back and just say we running this team back and we gonna add people in the draft, I would be fine with that. Um, I would say one free agent player that I really want, and I've been banging the table and I've been talking about him for months, is Tyler Lindenbaum, who's going into unrestricted free agency with the Baltimore Ravens. I would go ahead and cough up the bag and give. And now that we know that we more than likely are not paying CJ Stroud that 60 million.
no, we're not.
You don't know that yet
But
Oh,
what's
I
the
know.
word on Linderbaum? Why
Ain't
do we know
no
why
way,
Baltimore's letting him
Slay.
walk?
because
Ain't
they trying
no
to figure out.
way.
Anybody listen to Eddie? They trying to figure out what they're gonna do with Lamar Jackson first, and the head coach
Oh,
situation.
okay. So
Because
Linderbaum is just like a casualty along the way. Then.
Yeah, if not, they're gonna franchise tag him.
so let me
Oh,
say this. Let me
Hmm?
say this. Now, if they trying to figure out what Lamar Jackson doing or what they would do with Lamar Jackson, would you, if he was on the table, trade for Lamar Jackson?
Nope,
yep.
nope.
Why you wouldn't?
Because he hasn't proven anything and his
The
record from being behind double digit points is bad. And then
Go ahead. You broke up. I couldn't hear you.
and then you have to correct and you got to create a whole different offense around Lamar Jackson. That's different players
Mm,
that you already have, and you trying to run as much back as you want to. You have to shift your offensive philosophy for Lamar Jackson. He's not a plug and play guy.
mm-hmm. You sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
Okay.
That's why their offense has always struggled his whole entire day because no one knows how to get the best out of him because he's a unique talent.
Well, it's kind of hard when my wide receiver one is Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, that's
No
true.
disrespect. There's no disrespect, but like we're
Lamar
not
with
okay.
Nico Collins is a totally different
That
situation.
and that's all I was gonna say is that this would be Lamar's best like offensive roster, arguably of his entire career, outside of Derrick Henry. When has he ever had 2 6 4 receiver like a whole bunch of young burners on? Like he hasn't.
I'm gonna
He's that
say
Mark
this
but
Andrews.
also.
they ain't developed. They draft a receiver in the first and second for 3 or 4 years. They don't
So
pan out because he don't throw the ball
Bateman.
enough to him.
look, I'm gonna say this because there's a scenario that okay, let's say you do get,
Hold on,
who
are we just talking fantasy? Because right now, because that's a hard pitch to sell that they're gonna trade CJ for Lamar. That's y'all really pitching fantasy. I mean, this is not Madden football.
I mean, hey, anything's on the table.
No, come on. On
Now,
this one right here.
see, now, T is talking some craziness right now. I would say that the running backs are better and the tight end is better, but wide receiver wise,
What about online?
he talking about weapons.
We I, still the whole line their whole line has been ours,
Yeah,
and our run issues, our run block issues don't run well with a running quarterback.
okay. Who? Okay, Joe Burrow.
I'm not doing Madden trades with you today. It's not this is not the week for this because Cincinnati is not giving their cash calls.
Hey, I don't know. Would you give up two or three first round picks for Joe Burrow and CJ?
Sir. This is we are an hour and a half in the situation. I'm not
Hey,
doing this with you hour 5 minutes. I'm not doing with you
hey.
today.
So again, but no, it's just like those players, and the player we didn't bring up is Trent Brown. I would bring Trent Brown back on a very very cheap deal.
Right.
Um, so definitely I would want to bring Trent Brown back to kind of reestablish. At the end of the day, you can't. I don't feel like they're going to draft 2 offensive linemen. And that's just me being realistic. I think which one is easier to get in this draft, a right tackle or a guard?
A guard.
So I will go ahead and bring back Trent Brown just for 1 year. Let him and make and put it, on Blake
Yeah.
that and make him have a prove it year this year. That
Mhm.
if he can't beat Trent Brown out this year, then
Right.
Blake, then we went down the road of we wasted a second round pick.
And the only reason I say guard this year because of how late are we're drafting in the process and how early we're drafting in the second round.
Yeah, well, I mean, his
You-
picks are only like not even 10 picks between each other.
Right. So that situation, either you can get a guard earlier than you normally would because it's the bottom of the first round, or you get the top guard in the second round, which
Hmm.
with the pick from the Washington. So that's why I say
Okay.
it's easier to pick talent wise when you're going there, and you ain't got to trade up and down like you did
Yeah.
for Kenyon Green, all that stuff, and we go that back and forth. But that's why is the reason why. Now, if they didn't have the Washington pick,
Hmm.
that would be more hard to say because the from what I've seen, the guard talent or inside talent is not really great, but it's overall pretty decent. And I would if that's the number one need, I'll go again and get there early because I can get everything else pretty much later.
Yeah. So Brandon said if we draft a guard and we have Ingram and resign Trent Brown, where's Titus? Look, I'm
Mm.
being honest with you. If we have Titus and we resign Trent Brown and we bring back Ingram as well, Ingram and that Ricky got to go at it. I'm basically saying the same thing with Trent Brown and Blake Fisher.
Yeah,
They got to go at it.
I can
You got to
I can see
battle it
what
out.
you're.
And at the end of the day, I said this before on this podcast. Having Ingram and Trent Brown raises the floor
Yeah,
of
I
the
agree with you.
offensive line. If they don't win those battles,
Right,
you know that Ed Ingram can come in and be at the very least productive
right. I
and not
mean,
fall off a cliff when somebody goes out, similar to switching out Titus Howard for Jared Patterson.
mhm.
You fall
So
off a cliff talent wise. You're not
what
gonna
I
fall off a cliff on that spectrum.
what I said, with your logic, I see what your logic is. If you draft one, sign Trent Brown, sign Ed Ingram back, your O line is like I got talent no
Mm-hmm.
matter what happens. And
Mm-hmm.
if Tyus Howard is the best right tackle, and you draft the left guard and he can do the job, and he's real good. He's shown real traits. Cole Balkovich sees the instinct in him to be nasty with it,
Mm-hmm.
and he can start with him. What's the problem having Trent Brown as your backup tackle?
Right. Exactly.
What's the
There's no
problem?
problem. There's no problem with Trent Brown being your backup tackle, other than Jules said he hated Trent Brown and didn't understand why Trent Brown was even on his roster.
I did, and
Um,
he proved me right when he couldn't go. Yeah, yesterday. 'Cause he can't be trusted. Clayton said it
but
earlier. Availability is one of the key things about being a NFL player.
hmm so I
Shout
mean,
to
hey,
me like I know what I said. I eat all the crow. I've eaten crow by Jalen Petrie for what 17 weeks. Okay.
look, Brandon said I want after the Titans game, I want to sign um, Trent Brown for 1 year, 3 million. Look, that's the thing about it. All these signings aren't going to cost you
No.
an arm and a leg. You bringing Sheldon Rankins back for like 7 million or something. You bringing back Tim Settle for 4 or 5 million. Like these nickel and dime contracts, yeah, they add up in the long run. But you can go back and kind of maneuver it. I did a exercise today on over the cap. The Texans can easily create right around $70 million in cap space just by restructures and extensions.
But how much is in any debt? Okay, you know what? We're gonna tackle that next week. We
Yeah,
go. We
that's
got a
that's
whole. We got a
that's the
whole offseason.
episode next week. We'll break
Yeah.
down and
Okay.
everything. But I did it, and it wasn't it wasn't debt. Like
Okay.
the players that you extending and restructuring, these
Mhm.
are players that you expect to be here.
Okay.
Like a
I,
Aziz, I'm gonna just give an example. Like extending the Neil Hunter for 1 more year gives you $17 million in cap space.
okay.
Extending Aziz Al-Shaair gives you almost $8 million in cap space. So, things like that, players that are going to be here, because all the players I did were players that are going to be here. If you cut Jared Patterson, you get almost $4 million in cap space.
He be cut today.
Like, you know what I mean? So,
All right.
so that those you can just stuff like that, you can create almost $70 million in cap space.
I mean, if I'm cutting and I'm fired, Joe Mixon's already gone, and Gerard Johnson's already gone.
Okay. Yeah. So
That's
at the end of the day,
that's $8 million right there for Joe Mixon.
yeah, Joe Mixon gone, $8 million. Boom.
$8 million.
And I didn't even count at that point in time. I didn't even count Joe Mixon.
Right.
I didn't even count Joe Mixon. So again, man, look, we've been on it. We've been talking about it. We all pissed off. We all irritated. We all frustrated. But again, man, yeah, man, it was one of them days yesterday, and we trying to get back on, which is why I told Jules, I said, and Clayton, I said, hey, let's run it today. Let's not wait till Tuesday, because I need to get this out and I need to decompress for a week. So y'all ain't gonna see us till next week.
Yeah, I'm now on Facebook. I'm on Bleach Report. I'm done for a week.
Yeah, I need to decompress. I need to kind of get myself together. But
This hurt.
yeah, this hurt. This is one-on-ones, man. This was one-on-ones. This was the last thing we always held on to. The hurt was the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
24-0, and this one topped that. Because
Yeah.
this is your clip, one of your clearest, if not best paths to a Super Bowl. So hopefully this team is just as good next year that it was this year, that you can turn around and the offense, balances out the defense. Not saying that it's gonna be nowhere near the level of the defense, but if it can just balance out and give you 24, 25 points a game, and go from there, and give us a chance. So again, man, we appreciate everybody watching us live, everybody in the comments. We're on the road to 1,000, man. We about less than 250 away. If y'all can go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page on the H-Town Rundown, get us to that good old 1,000 subscribers. We on the move. We making major moves. So y'all go ahead and support us there. Support us on Facebook. Support us on Instagram. Support us on TikTok. And support us on Twitter as well. So y'all go ahead and follow all the socials and support us where we can be supported. And again, shout out to my co-host Jules. Shout out to Clayton, who's dealing with some technical issues and travel issues. But we appreciate y'all all, and we will see y'all on the next episode, man. Peace.
All right.